I appreciate that they're not trying to be completely 30s and 40s style animation. I appreciate that it still has somewhat of a strangely modern feel to it. That's one of the biggest things that appeals to me. Might be something that's a little lost from the game going to the show, but I like that. I like that. I don't think you need to do a complete, you don't have to like mimic completely 100%. Somebody did what somebody did back in the day. Those artists did that back in the day. You take a big influence on that and still make it your own. That's what I see here. That's what I love. I'm an animation nerd, y'all. Give me a wedgie and stuff me in the locker and beat my ass. I apologize for nothing. Double Toasted Live has 2 more dates left on its tour. Going to be in Orlando and Dallas. Join us for a full night of comedy and games. And if you get your tickets now, get 15% off the regular price. Get your tickets by going to x1entertainment.com, and we'll see you soon. Had some packing, some chores around the house, had some repairs to do, had to prepare for the show that we have to do in Florida. So there were a lot of things that had to be done, and I just could not prepare the show that I wanted to give y'all tonight. And so I just said, you know what? Go and take care of those things. People understand. And also, before you go, just relax. You've earned it, Corey. Yes, I say that to myself all the time. You've earned it. And then, oh, damn it, that Cuphead had to come out. The trailer for Cuphead, y'all. And I had to stop everything. I even said to myself, I said, well, damn, I gotta do a stream to talk about my boy Cuphead, if only for a little while. Y'all don't understand. I'm a Cuphead head. I really love that game, man. I don't know why, because it's torture. That game is one of the most frustrating things that I've ever done in my life. But I love it. I love it. And part of what I love about that game and what keeps me coming back is, I dare say, what makes me look forward to this so much. People, this is one of this is one of the shows I'm looking forward to, if not the most. Yes, I'm going to say it. This is the show, out of all the things that are coming out there, all the big TV shows, out of all the hype TV shows, out of all the live action things that are out there, oh, hell no, Cuphead is the thing that I'm looking forward to the most. Why, Corey? Well, I'm going to explain to you exactly why. And I don't think I'm alone in that either. Don't look at me like I'm crazy. Don't look at me like I'm immature. Some of you out there feel exactly like I do, whether you want to admit it or not. In that case, I'll speak for you. Why are we all looking forward to this Head of Cups? Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at this trailer that just came out from Netflix. I see people in the chat talking right now, and you're starting to piss me off. Don't you start. Are you doing this to mess with me? Somebody in the chat said, low budget shit. You get out of here. Get out. Get out now. Escort this man off the stream. How dare you? How dare you? I'll tell you how much this means to me, and you sitting up here talking all this shit. Get this man out of here.
I love it when they run.
And that person doesn't have to leave. I was joking. I am a little sensitive, but I was kidding. You don't have to go anywhere. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion, and we value everybody's opinion around here. And speaking of opinions, shit, boy, I love it. Pixie, did you see that? Did you see those Cupheads and them Melgamans up there? Oh my God, people, I am loving so much what I see here. Like that person I was messing with, no offense to anybody out there who does not find the same kind of pleasure or excitement that I'm seeing right now. I understand. It's just, there's a lot here that's just personal to me. Things that I have actually things that I grew up on watching during my lifetime as a kid. Things that inspired me as a kid to lead to the son of a bitch I am today. Now, speaking of why this personally so much appeals to me, before we even get into the trailer, let me just say this, man. First of all, it would be nice to just look at Cuphead without stressing the hell out. Anyone who has played that game, anyone who is actually, even if it's just for a couple of minutes, anyone who's played Cuphead, they know just how crazy hard this game is. People, you're looking at that. Yes, it's amazing, but it's fucking hard. That game is insane. It took years. Yes, people, I'm not saying days. It took years for me to even look at a picture of Cuphead without breaking out into a cold sweat. It took years for me to look at a cup, not Cuphead. Take the head off. It took years for me to just look at a cup without just shaking, going into convulsions. I love the game, but that game will give you nightmares and PTSD, man. The game is insanely hard. You can look at this. There's so much happening on that screen right there. You know what's funny? You want to see something funny, or if you want to get back at a friend, or if you're kind of a cruel person who just wants to laugh at other people's misery, put somebody on who is not that much of a gamer and has never played Cuphead before. Put them on to play Cuphead and just watch them go into a seizure, man. Just watch them just to start to space the out, because they just don't know how to handle it. When I'm drinking coffee, it's not coffee that keeps me up. It's not the caffeine. It's me getting thoughts about Cuphead. But, it'd be nice. And I mean this. It'll be nice to just watch Cuphead and to be able to relax. Just to be able to enjoy it without having to be stressed out trying to play the game. You're talking about, well, Corey, if it's so damn hard, it's giving you seizures and PTSD, then why are you playing the game? Well, because the game is just that gorgeous, man. The game is it's an incredible project. Just to give people a little history about the game Cuphead before we talk about the trailer, because this game was making big news at the time before it was even released, because all of this is hand drawn. All these assets here, hand animated. All these backgrounds, hand painted. It's a beautiful piece of art. And then the gameplay was incredible too, as hard as it is, but the gameplay really stood out. It held its own as a game. So now I'm able to watch this as a show and just appreciate the art. The animation kept me coming back. So that's where it's personal for me, man, because my background before I've done any of this is in animation. I grew up loving animation of all types. And so it was great to see a studio, and I love those, I love that 30s style animation. I love those 30 styles artists and legendary animators. I'm about to nerd the hell out on you right now. I'm about to do what I always criticize people, for doing on a podcast, just throwing out names that nobody will recognize, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Some of my biggest heroes in animation came from that period, like Max Fleischer, which is the biggest influence here, right here, probably, in Up Earworks. They did what they call that rubber hose animation. Even Disney started out doing like that, limited rubber hose animation at the time, which I say limited, but it definitely was a style that had its appeal. It wasn't anything like what they did later with, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm nerding the hell out. Just let me do it. Just let me do it for a moment. But yeah, man. And so to watch this and see how they do this throwback to that old look. Everybody talks about how animation goes through all these periods and trends where a style gets popular and then all of a sudden everybody's doing it. I'm not naming any names. I'm not saying it's wrong, but to just see what they're doing with this today, it is a refreshing look. And by the way, I appreciate that they're not trying to be completely 30s and 40s style animation. I appreciate that it still has somewhat of a strangely modern feel to it. That's one of the biggest things that appeals to me. Might be something that's a little lost from the game going to the show, but I like that. I don't think you need to do a complete You know, you don't have to like mimic completely 100%. Somebody did what somebody did back in the day. You know, those artists did that back in the day. You take a big influence on that and still make it your own. That's what I see here. That's what I love. I'm an animation nerd, y'all. Give me a wedgie and stuff me in the locker and beat my ass. I apologize for nothing. But you know, watching this thing is very authentic to the source and not just in animation style. Sure, what you're seeing here is full of whimsy. By the way, I try to drop that word every chance I get. I love that word, whimsy. Yes, this is full of whimsy and is whimsical. But there's also, when you're watching this trailer, and you probably saw it in certain parts, you're definitely seeing what I'm seeing right here. There's also kind of a really dark and kind of creepy tone to this.
You two are nothing but trouble. We love trouble.
People, you got two cups. You got two cups fighting skeletons and Satan. That's the story of the game. I love that this is so surreal and crazy like those old animations used to be. That's, for those who don't know the story, it is crazy. You got two cups, Cuphead and Mugman, and you know, they were out there one day and somehow got their soul taken by the devil. And I think now you have to fight for your soul from the devil. I don't know. Anyway, that's pretty much it. And so you just go and fight all these crazy characters and these boss battles and just these insanely creative worlds that they create that have, again, a big influence from those period cartoons from the 30s and somewhat 40s. But when I say tone, and I'm talking about being creepy and being kind of scary, you know, that captures what those cartoons were like, a lot of them back during that time period, man. A lot of those things were so surreal. A lot of them dealt with dark imagery, these crazy visions of hell. You know, that they were fun, but they were also so dark that they were a little scary, man, for even when I was watching them as a kid. You know, I'd laugh, but when it was done, my mind was f***ed up. It wasn't like anybody died or there was any kind of gore or anything like that. It was violent, but it was just weird. It was weird enough to be like, I don't know what the hell I just watched, but it was so appealing. It was still so much fun to watch. You know, when you get weird like this, nothing matches it. It's his own thing. Until you get something like Cuphead that tries to go in and do it over again. Like this right here. It's just weird, man. It's a creature that for those, you know, your parents might know this and grandparents especially, but this was a Betty Boop cartoon where Cap Calloway, one of the biggest performers at the time, came in and they actually took his dance moves and just put these crazy creatures over while they were down in the pits of hell or something.
He loved him though he was cocky. The gong around showed her how to get.
The f is going on? I don't know. I'm weirded out, creeped out. I'm scared a little bit, but I love it. I love it. And I think that's another thing that they really did that appeals to me in the Cuphead cartoon, that they brought that creepy part here. You see them dealing with skeletons and against Satan and all kind of monsters, and they're in graveyards. That's sort of an innocent horror aspect to this. And I really appreciate that, man. Damn, I'm looking forward to this. This comes out on February 18th. I might just have to cancel our live show. Our live show's on the same day. Hang out with Cuphead. Nah, I'm not doing that. You know, I love the voices here too. I gotta tell you, the voices that I'm hearing, they did kind of match. They did kind of match what I thought that these characters would sound like. You know, I mean, never 100% what we're all thinking, but definitely close.
Evil. Cuphead, I'm not so sure.
You know what I do when I'm not so sure? I double down!
What does that even mean?
What the hell are you talking about? You know, looking at the voices they got here, some of the people that I see here, I know, and some I don't. I think a lot of people know this guy. Who knew that there was such a handsome man in one of those cups right there? That is, I believe that's True Valentino. Is that his name? Correct me if I'm wrong, y'all. He's the voice of Cuphead. I've seen him a while back when they were bringing this out. I didn't, you know, again, wouldn't expect that guy to look like that doing Cuphead. Maybe I should quit profiling, being prejudiced. Also, Wayne Brady. Wayne Brady's just, I mean, he's just the right personality for the Dice guy right here. You know, I'm looking forward to what he does with this character. That's actually my favorite character out of the game right there. So another thing that has me excited, just everything that I see here as far as making this a show, and something told me a long time ago, I said, you know what? This thing is so cool, so popular, so beloved by people out there that they're going to make a show about this. And I'd be damned if they didn't. And, you know, watching it is exactly what I thought of. Now, you know, for people who really are into animation and want to know, is all of this hand drawn? Because all of it was hand drawn for the game. That's just stupid incredible that they would do that. You know, I mean, to do this kind of animation by hand today when you have computers to actually help you with all of this, some people would say that's crazy. But they did it, and it definitely stood out. Now, the only thing that I will say is I can definitely look at this, and as much as I love the hand-drawn animation in the game, you know, I'm looking at this and I can tell that, you know, not all of this was hand-drawn. You could definitely tell that there's some digital assistance with this. From an artistic point of view, yes, that would be so cool if they did it all by hand. But from a production side, a budget side, that's just not realistic to do it all by hand for a show. And that's cool. That's perfectly fine. There's no big deal with that. You know, it's a different thing and it makes sense. Boy, I tell you what, Netflix has been on a roll, man. When they talking about nobody can do video games properly, go over and look at Netflix. They can. Maybe that's what it takes. Maybe we shouldn't be doing movies. Maybe we need to be doing more shows because, especially with an animated adaptation of a video game, Netflix has been killing it, man. Now, I know there's a couple of things that haven't gone well, but like Castlevania was way more brilliant than it probably should have been. And don't even get me started on Arcane, which I ignored when y'all were telling me to watch this for the longest time. But when I did, better than sex, baby.
More lives may be lost. The Undercity cannot be controlled.
If y'all want to do a video game adaptation, you need to go talk to Netflix. Around, because Netflix is killing it, man. So judging by their track record, by how well they've been doing with these properties, I have no reason to believe that Cuphead won't be as great. And I'm going to keep thinking that way. I'm going to keep wishing, I'm going to keep hoping, and I'm going to keep believing that this is going to be just as cool as it looks and as brilliant as it looks in that trailer right there. We'll find out February 18th. If you see the show is canceled, you know what I'm doing. Our live show in Dallas that weekend, if you see it's canceled, then you know what I'm doing. I'm at home watching Cuphead. Sorry. Just had to. Hey everyone, support our Patreon, which helps us to continue bringing you our live streams, videos, and podcasts while bringing you new content such as exclusive live streams and animated shorts.